Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so delighted. I feel so good and I feel so happy because it's another Wednesday. I know what Wednesdays are for, right? Wednesdays are set aside for the Enlightenment Series brought to you by Huleji Global. Just in case you're joining me for the very first time, my name is Yakubu Huleji, and I'm going to be your speaker and your host for this episode. The Enlightenment Series is a weekly podcast brought to you by Huleji Global. And on this platform, we have conversations that inspire growth, that inspire healing, that inspire purpose, that inspire transformation, and brings about empowerment. And so I would like you to stay with us. I would like you to stay tuned, stay connected, and pay attention to what is going to be discussed in this very episode. And I assure you that your life is going to be blessed. I assure you that you are going to enjoy the conversation that will be made in this very episode. So let the conversation begin. For this episode, we are going to be speaking on a very wonderful topic that says die empty. Die empty. You know, this may sound very uncomfortable and it may even sound strange to so many persons because as humans we don't like speaking about death. We don't like speaking about death because we see death as a very tragic thing. We see death as something that ought not to be discussed. We don't like talking about death. We are always talking about long life. We want to live long, we want to live long, we want to live long, and all of that. That's actually very good. That's actually a good desire. Living long is actually a very good desire. I myself, I desire to live long. I want to live as long as possible. I want you to be listening to this voice for a very long time. So it's actually a very good desire to live long. But there's something that's inevitable about life, and that's death. Death is very inevitable. Everyone who is living will have to die someday. To whoever life is given, death is promised. Yes, one day I'm going to die, you are going to die, we are going to die. And while we may see that as a tragedy, it's not completely a tragedy. What is most tragic is to die without living your life to the fullest. What is most tragic is to die without fulfilling purpose. What is more tragic is for us to die without maximizing what we have embedded in us. So that is the most tragic thing that can happen to the life of a man, not death. So we should be excited sometimes to talk about death. We should be excited to talk about death. We should not just always shy away from this topic because whether we like it or not, we are going to die. You see, many people carry gifts, they carry ideas, they have talents, they have solutions inside them. But in the process of living their lives, somehow, they give in space for fear, procrastination, comparison, and other things. And these things limit them from expressing the gifts, the ideas, the talents, and the solutions they have. And then they end up just living their life without bringing some kind of solutions that is being expected of them. That is why you hear very great scholars saying that the graveyard is the richest place in life, or is the richest place on earth. The reason why they say that is because a lot of persons die without living their life to the fullest. A lot of persons die without fulfilling purpose. A lot of persons die without maximizing their potential. A lot of persons die without bringing out those things that we are supposed to bring out to the world. There are a lot of persons who died without writing books that they had in their mind. There are a lot of persons who died without bringing out those ideas they had in their mind. There are a lot of people who had great business ideas, great business ventures, but they never started. A lot of people died with the solutions to the greatest problems we have on earth today. Some people had the cure to cancer, had the cure to HIV, had the cure to what we know as incurables, but they died with them. Some persons were supposed to make global impact, but they died without making it. And all of these things are real life wealth. These things are real life riches. And because the owners of them or the holders of them died without leaving it on earth or without bringing them to life or to light, they end up being wasted, they end up being untapped. So that's actually a tragedy. That's actually something that ought not to happen. That's something that is not supposed to be recorded of anyone. It is expected that each and every one of us live our lives to the fullest. It is expected that each and every one of us live our life in accordance to the blueprint that is being set for our lives by the divine. So we need to live our lives with that consciousness of we need to die. Before we die, we need to live out all. Yes, we need to live out. You know, everyone has something inside them. I have something inside me. You have something inside you. Everyone listening to me right now have something inside them. You're not ordinary. There is something that is embedded in you. And the moment you refuse to express that which is inside you, you are actually doing something wrong, because you are depriving the world of what it deserves to get from you. When you refuse to express what is inside you, the world is deprived of what you can give. And that ought not to be the story, that ought not to be the situation. Every human is a container of potential. Every human being is a container of gifts, container of ideas, assignments in people, and all of that. Life is the opportunity to release and deposit all of these things that we contain. Life is the opportunity for us to do all of these things. We have ideas, we have leadership ability, we have creativity, we have solutions to problems. So we are giving life for us not just to live, but for us to release these deposits that is in us. You were not created empty. You were created full. Yeah, you were created full. You are created full, and because you are created full, you are expected that in life you pour out all of these things. You withdraw all of it before going back to your Creator, or before leaving this earth, before leaving the face of this earth. But sadly, a lot of persons have not been able to do that for many reasons. So why do people die empty? Why do people die full instead? Why do people die full instead of dying empty? People die full because of fear. Some persons fail to start because of fear. The fear of failure, the fear of criticism, the fear of success, and all of those things. Fear has limited a lot of people, a lot of persons from living their life to the fullest. We ought not to be limited by fear. You don't need to be limited by fear. Fear is a killer. Fear limits. Fear reduces your ability to do the things you're supposed to do the way you're supposed to do them. Fear is one of the greatest reasons why people die full. And as I've said, you're not supposed to die full, you're supposed to die empty. Another thing that stops people from dying empty, or something that makes people die full, or make people die with their potentials, is procrastination. Oh, procrastination. So some persons define procrastination as the thief of time. So you keep adjourning things to the next day. You keep saying, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it someday. There's always a next time, there's always a next time. Mind you, the moment you keep shouting there is a next time, there's a next time, there's a next time, your life is time bound. Your life is time bound. And as you keep living your life and you keep adjourning things to the next day, your time is going, your time is ticking. And a lot of persons lived on this path of procrastination, and it landed them into dying with the potentials they have. It landed them into dying with the gifts that is deposited in them. It landed them dying with those things that they are supposed to give their world. So I don't want you to be that person who will live with procrastination. One more thing, comparison. Oh my God. Some scholars say comparison is the thief of joy. A lot of persons limit themselves from fulfilling their purpose, limit themselves from serving their world because they believe others are better than them. They believe, oh, others are better, they cannot do anything better, and all of those things. And because of that, they end up dying full. They end up dying with potentials, they end up dying with ideas, they end up dying with solutions. And it ought not to be so. It ought not to be so. Finally, one of the things that limits persons from dying empty, one of the things that makes people die full, It's comfort. Comfort. A lot of persons settle. You settle for less. You're just so comfortable. You want to just live without capacity and all of that. You just want to remain where you are. A lot of persons, because of that, we are not able to get to the right age or to the ripeness of who they are supposed to be. So they died with potentials, they die with talents, they die with gifts, they die with solutions because they wanted to live comfortable lives. And that's not what it's supposed to be for your life. You need to shun things like this. You see, potential dies where courage is absent. A lot of persons, this is like a bonus point to reasons why people die fool. A lot of people die fool because they don't lack courage. And then potential dies the moment there is no courage. So you should live your life with courage. You ought not to be one of the persons who is trapped in any of the reasons why the reasons I've just explained briefly now. So, as we wrap up for this episode, I just want to admonish us on how to ensure we die empty, knowing fully well that we have been given a lot of things and we are not supposed to leave this world with them. We are supposed to serve the world with what we are given before we go. I just want to speak to us briefly and admonish us on how we can ensure we don't die empty. How to ensure we don't die empty. First, discover what is inside you. Discover what is inside you. Discover what is inside you. You need to be self-aware. You need to know who you are. You need to know what you are. You need to know what you can do. You need to know where you are going. You need to be purposeful. This is one of the most practical things that can make you to live your life and deposit everything and give out everything that has been deposited into you. The moment you are able to know who you are, you have already created a blueprint for how your life will go. A lot of persons live their lives trying to look like people, just live their lives just like that. But that's not how life is supposed to be. You are supposed to know who you are. You're supposed to know where you are going. You're supposed to know what you are doing. Live a life that is self-aware. Reflect. Know, who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing with my life? Secondly, how do you ensure you don't die empty? How do you ensure you don't die full? How do you ensure you die empty? By developing your gifts. If you must die empty, if you must die without leaving any of your purpose or any of your potentials on tap, you must develop your gifts. You must develop your gifts. You must develop your gifts. You must learn. You must build capacity. You must practice. You must have discipline. The moment you don't do any of this, the moment you don't learn, the moment you don't practice, the moment you don't discipline yourself, the moment you don't develop yourself, the moment you don't build capacity, you will never get to the point where you'll be able to serve your world effectively. Am I communicating? Third, if you must die empty, you must deploy your gifts. Very, very important. You must serve people, you must solve problems, you must create impact. You must create impact. These are the things we need to do in our lives. Just to recap, there are 3 steps I just mentioned as ways through which you can ensure you die empty. Number 1, you discover what is inside you. Number 2, you develop your gifts. And number 3, you deploy your gifts. When you do these 3 things, you will discover that you discover that you don't die and be one of those people who are not in their grave, but you die as someone who has served his or her world effectively. Potential is not fulfilled.